this is Optibotimus coming with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the folks at QMX, we're going to be taking an early look at their upcoming 1/6 scale master series, Westley / the Dread Pirate Roberts, from the 1987 cult classic film, The Princess Bride. For the package, absolutely gorgeous. You can see you got this really nice gold foil overlay on what basically looks like an oversized book, which is terrific because the movie is basically told as a story being read from a book, and I love how they incorporated that here. You can see the QMX logo, Master Series, Westley, Dread Pirate Roberts. The side here is like the spine of the book with some really nice ornate detail. You can see Westley right there, and then you can see Princess Buttercup, which looks absolutely amazing. You come around the back, and you have another gorgeous image, again, in that gold overlay of Westley and Princess Buttercup. Absolutely gorgeous looking. And then you can see the side are like pages. You got that kind of through the top here. The bottom, it kind of breaks that up a little bit with some of the warnings and things of that nature, but you can open the book, revealing the figure on the inside in a really nice action pose in front of what looks like the scene when he was battling Indigo Montoya there in the back, which looks great. And then on the side here, you have an open window that fully showcases the figure, as well as all of his accessories. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Dread Pirate Roberts opened up and out of its packaging. And as I said, The Princess Bride really is a cult classic. And amazingly enough, in about a month, specifically September 25th, we will be celebrating the 31st anniversary of the release of this movie. And what better way to celebrate that than the release of this figure? Now, as I said, this is a bit of an advanced look at the figure. It is due out in the next couple weeks, and it just perfectly lines up with the anniversary of the film. Now, starting off first with his accessories, coming all the way down here, he doesn't really come with a lot, mostly because he doesn't really need to come with a lot. But what we get is pretty good. Now, in addition to the two fairly relaxed hands that are currently on him, he gets several other gloved hands. You can see that you get a right and left one that is done up in the holding pose. This one is a little bit more closed, obviously, for holding the sword. This one's a little bit more spread open, which works nicely for the goblet, which we'll take a look at. But really nice detail on here, coming in a little bit closer so you can see that. You can see it's just done up in this black plastic, but nice wrinkles in there, good sculpted detail. Fingers actually look pretty good. And then you can see that it is a split glove, which is nicely accurate to how it was in the film. You also do get a pair of right and left fisted hands done up in the same kind of black plastic with that split right down the middle. You get a right hand which is a little bit more opened as a gesturing kind of hand, again, really nice. And then you get a pair of ungloved hands which work, I want to say maybe it's a little bit too big for the sword, but let me see. Yeah, it's definitely too big for the sword. I mean, I guess you could do it if you really wanted to, but you do have an ungloved pair, which, again, really nice detail. Taking a closer look at that, you can see some nice kind of paint variation with some, little reddish areas and such. Overall, pretty nice looking, but you do get those hands, which really do help to display them kind of how you want. He also does come with this sword, which is really very, very nicely done. You can see that he does have a scabbard with it. Let me remove this. This piece, I want to say, I think this is all plastic, but you get a nice, if it'll focus on it, nice little silver bit there on the tip of the sword. Then you can see a nice kind of textured detail on the scabbard, which looks good. Another little silver section up here. Then you have the electroplated sword itself. Again, if I can get it to stay focused on it. Really very, very nice. I do kind of wish that it was made out of metal, just to add a little bit of heft to it, but the detail on it is spectacular. And then when you look at the handle, that is absolutely terrific. Again, nice electroplating on the handguard, the hilt, all that looks really very, very nice. Nice ornate detail sculpted in on these little edge bits and everything. I mean, absolutely spectacular looking. And then you can see it just slides in there really very easily. Focusing doesn't want to work, but you can see you can do that. Then you can come around here to the figure. You can lift his arm up, and you got this little section right here which you can put the scabbard through all the way, and you can now have his sword properly displayed on his person, which looks fantastic. This accessory I absolutely love. It was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. There's so many good scenes, but this is possibly one of my favorite scenes. The only thing that I would maybe say that I would have liked to have gotten would have been two of these. This is from the Battle of the Wits, where he and man, I've seen the movie a million times and I forgot the guy's name, but he put the iocane powder in the wine, and it's like, which one had it? Is it this one? Is it this one? And then there was a whole battle of the minds, and obviously the Dread Pirate Roberts survived. I love that on the inside here you have a nice little reddish bit that's put in there to kind of replicate the wine that's there, but really nice detail on there. A very nice wash, giving it a very metallic look. Some nice silver and black in there. Looks very, very gothic of sorts. Like I said, the only thing that I really wish is maybe we could have gotten two of these. That's the only thing that I probably would have liked to see done differently, but I'm okay with it. The other thing, obviously we'll touch on this here in a bit. He does come with a nice display base. It says the Princess Bride. You have a very simple adjustable cradle right here. The bottom section, the Princess Bride with Westley, the Dread Pirate Roberts, QMX. Got some little bits right here to elevate that so that's not rubbing on the bottom, which looks really nice. And then I don't remember seeing this advertised, but this is a little display that was in the package. You couldn't really see it, but it was a completely separate insert, and it looks like the area where Westley, I guess, and Buttercup kind of reunited, get him out of the way for a little bit, but you can see. You can set that there, and you'll be able to have a really nice display. It also kind of looks like it's the entrance area to the fire swamp, potentially. But you got like these little foldy sections down here that do require a little bit of manipulating to get it to balance properly, but you can do it. I really like that they included this. I wish that other 6 scale companies do it. Some do, the majority of them don't, and I feel like that insert area is perfect for doing something like this. So I like that QMX has thought about that and gone that extra mile to create a nice backdrop for him. That looks really very, very cool. So happy to see that. Now he does come with 2 portraits. One obviously is the Dread Pirate Roberts, and then the other one is just Westley. Now I do want to take a look at this much closer. One thing that I will say is that I feel like from the side, I feel it nails the likeness very, very nicely. The front, I feel like it's a little bit off. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I would probably be able to look at that and guess who it was, more so with the masked head than this one, but it still looks really good. You can see some nice paint variation. The blonde hair looks good. You got some different darks kind of thrown in there. He's got his little ponytail right there. Really nice reddish detail thrown in, giving a very kind of flesh look. Really nice blue eyes. Those look really good. You got that little tiny thin mustache throughout there. So it's not a perfect representation of the actor, and I forgot his name, but I think it looks pretty good nonetheless. Now this one I think is far better. Bringing in the other one, I mean, again, it doesn't look bad. I just feel like this one captures the likeness a little bit better, and at the end of the day, this is my preferred look for the character. So while it's nice that we get a second portrait, and obviously that increases the value that you're getting with this set, this is the one that I think they really needed to nail, and I think they did. It really does look amazing. Now, a couple things that I have noticed, in terms of the skin tone, you can see that the face does have a darker skin tone than the rest of the body. That does stand out. So I wish there was a little bit better of a blending of the paint. Now, maybe more with the actual body than the face, but that definitely is noticeable. The other thing, and this is just my memory, but I want to say that this, his bandana thing was longer in the movie. I feel like it came down further on his back than it is here. So I would have liked to have seen this be a longer piece. I also do like how they still have the little ponytail sculpted there on the back. I think that's really nice. But the sculpt on this looks fantastic. I love how they replicated the rubber-ish sort of mask, and then having the cloth bandana go around there, very accurate to the movie. One thing that I do want to note is that these are not removable, so don't try taking it off. But then coming down and taking a look at the rest of the outfit, let me kind of zoom back a little bit. You got these little strings coming down here with the little lace area right there. Very nice, loose, actual pirate outfit. I like the little ruffles around there. You come down here to look at the sleeves and you can see very baggy sleeves, but when you lift this up, you can see that there are cuffs underneath there, and I never would have even thought that from the film, but they have it. You can see he does have his belt, which looks nice. Maybe a little bit too clean. It probably would have looked a little bit better if it was a little bit more distressed, but it still looks good. Really nice detail with the little buckle sections right there. Again, lifting this up, you have the little holster section for his sword, and then you got the little sash that comes down here. Pants, again, very loose and free-flowing, which is very nice, and again, very accurate to the movie. Then you come down to the boots, and much like the gloves, you have this really nice kind of leathery looking texture on there, and great detail with the folds and wrinkles of the boots. Now, because as you can see, it is a one-piece boot, the articulation is very, very limited in terms of the ankles. There basically isn't any other than you got rotation right here. So that is a little bit unfortunate. I would have liked to have seen maybe do a cut on here. We've seen it in other figures and such, but if you had two separate sections like the upper boot section and then a cut right there where the lower section and the upper section kind of met together in terms of the sculpting, you could have had that ankle articulation in there, but it's not terrible. It's just something that I wish it would have done. And yeah, you can totally see the color difference between the face and the body. That does probably rank up there as being the biggest negative about the figure. But that being the case, that's not all that bad, honestly. The rest is very, very good. First, articulation. The head here is on a ball joint. To swap out the heads, I like how they you just give that a little pull, kind of from that area, and pull that up. There we go. Pull that up like so, and you can see that you have this little peg in this whole thing. So you just take this and you slide that down there, and when you get that on there, I mean, it doesn't look bad, actually. I mean, it kind of fits fairly decently, but again, you can still see that there is a skin tone difference. But I mean, that's not bad, honestly. I think that looks pretty good. But again, my preferred look is going to be this. I think that looks great. So you do got a nice range of motion with the head going pretty much wherever you want. The shoulders here nicely rotate. There is almost no restriction because of the outfit, which is very nice. Is there a butterfly joint? I don't think there's a butterfly joint, but you can see in and out, forward and back. It rotates at just above the elbow. You can kind of feel the elbow right there, and then right above that, or maybe it's actually the elbow itself is rotating, but there's no bicep rotation or anything. The wrists do rotate. They have that sort of pin hinge joint that we're fairly used to, so you can rotate it like that, and then you have to rotate it to get it going another direction. So you do have that articulation. The waist here, let's see, yeah, right at the abs is a crunch and a swivel, and then there's one at the hip as well. So you can rotate that forward and back. It does kind of, it's got spring-loaded action because it's oval shaped, so it's probably just springing back. And then you got a nice ab crunch. The legs here at the thighs move forward and back. They moving out. There's a little bit of restriction there just because the pants get a little bit tighter. Rotates at the upper part of the thigh. He's got, I feel, yeah, 2 bends here at the knee, and you can see that that flexes fairly decently. And then, as I said, unfortunately, the ankle, really all you're able to do is rotate it. So you can't really, I mean, you can spread him out like that, and he's going to stand because that really does help to, well, if I come down here, the ankles do, because they're locked into place, do kind of help stabilize them, but they're not going to be flat on the ground. So it's not too bad, but good level of articulation, great attention to detail on the outfit. I think they nailed it in terms of both the simplicity as well as the detail that's in it. Like I said, the ruffles, noticing that there's actually cuffs around the sleeves, the overall bagginess, I think they nailed it. The whole thing really is quite impressive. There are a few things that I wish were done differently on it, but all in all, a very solid release from Quantum Mechanix. As I said in the beginning, though, The Princess Bride really is an iconic cult classic type of film. I mean, it's got little baby Fred Savage in it. How much better of a movie could you hope for? The movie honestly appeals to just about everybody, from guys to girls. And finally getting a 1/6 scale figure from it is fantastic. In terms of his accessories, as I said, you don't get a lot, but you do get what is necessary for the character. The only thing that I would like to have seen extra would be 2 of the goblets, but getting 1 is still very nice. I don't know really what else you could have gotten, which might be why they included a second portrait, which I'm okay with. As I said, my preferred look is this. And the portrait that does come with it is really well done. The tailoring on the outfit is really nice. It has a very loose and flowing sort of feel to it, which is what the original costume in the film had. Everything from the way that they did the mask and the little bandana, to the sleeves, to the gloves, everything looks great. The figure is nicely articulated, so you can create some really good poses. The only thing that you're not going to really be able to do is articulate the ankles too much, but you can get it in a pose like this and have them still look wonderful. All in all, an absolute fantastic release by QMX. And I feel the $200 price that this is absolutely worth it. My only hope is that they don't stop here. I mean, we have the Dread Pirate Roberts. We obviously need a Princess Buttercup. And I can think of at least 2 other characters that would go along great with this set. So hopefully Quantum Mechanix is considering that and we get those figures later on. But to start things off, Westley / the Dread Pirate Roberts is a great addition to your collection. But all that being said, as I mentioned, this is an early look at the figure, and it is available for pre-order right now at places such as Big Bad Toy Store. So if you're looking for them, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Quantum Mechanix 1/6 scale figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support by letting me know simply by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And before you go, make sure you subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever, it's important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know just how unreliable that YouTube subscription box is, And the best way to help support my channel and not miss any future reviews of mine is to click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And a very special thanks to you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. And a huge shout out to all of my patrons, who through their continued support help to make many other reviews possible. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.